Welcome to Daily Refinement. How's everybody going? How's everybody going? How's everybody doing? So today I want to talk about sort of being reborn as a reseller. I feel like a completely different person these days just because I am so much more focused on, I'm going to call it negative space, which is stuff that, it's like margin, having enough room. So this is like, now I have two kids. They're both little. I want to have margin to be able to hang out with them. And I will tell you a couple of things. I was having lunch with a friend 2 Saturdays ago, and I felt like it was the first time in many years I could really enjoy the meal because it was like I had so much less going on. I could actually enjoy my friend's company. So I think that in the beginning, when you guys are trying to start your business, I don't think it is as easy as people think. I think that it takes a long time to get going. This morning, people on my morning call were saying that my success has been really fast. I wouldn't even consider myself that successful, but recently I've been more successful than before. And I don't think it's fast. If you guys have been watching me since 2017, that version of me versus now, it's very different and it wasn't fast. It's taken a long time to get here. So I don't think that it was fast at all. In fact, I feel like it was slow and painful. So hopefully you guys watching at home don't have to make the same mistakes as me. And I recommend you guys just listen to a bunch of my advice and think about why I'm giving you that advice. And a lot of this happened because maybe a month ago, maybe a little longer than a month ago, Tech and Sports shared his warehouse with me. And I'm still absorbing that because when I think eBay seller, I think you're at home, huge mess, you're unemployed, your friends think you're broke, they ask you to go out on a movie, but you don't have enough money for a movie. If you do go out, they pay for you. Like people look down on you. They think you're sort of the scum of the earth because you sell stuff that people get, at a discount from Goodwill. I had never seen an operation that was super clean like a Fortune 100 company, where it's like to the point, making money. People that work there are paid well. The people that work there have jobs that are very organized. Everyone is relatively stress free. There's tons of room. So I was thinking, now he's an empty nester. So you guys that are empty nesters listening right now, is anybody here an empty nester? Right? If you're an empty nester at home, do you feel like your home is now you have a lot of space and then you want to maybe downsize to something smaller? So I asked him, "Hey, you're now an empty nester. You did a good job. You raised an adult human that can take care of himself. You're done. You raised your kid. Now what? Are you going to downsize to a smaller place?" And he said, "No, I would feel cramped in a smaller space." But if you guys know, he doesn't really have any furniture in his house. His house is like super clean, very organized. And you would think you wouldn't need all that space, but it allows him to think. And I think that when I think of all the things that really help me, I like to have, isn't it called an empty nester when your kids are grown up?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. I like having extra space now. I want to have extra time. I want to have extra money. I don't, I think extra is more important to me than how much. Does that sound weird? So what if like instead of having like making $100,000 a month, which is kind of like a goal that I have, instead of that goal, what if I just make $10,000 a month, but my bills are 2,000? That's still pretty comfortable, right? You're not like that's. I was always thinking like people are saying, I can retire with 30 grand because I can live with my parents and eat ramen every day. That's true. If you ate all your parents' groceries, you didn't pay any rent, you had the internet, you could pretty much be happy as long as you didn't want to have any relationships with other people. You could just live with your parents forever. I was just thinking that's not an expensive lifestyle. So it's almost like I just want that margin. Okay, so if your kids are gone, do you feel the need to want to shrink your space or do you like that extra space that you have now because the person is gone? I have so many interesting things to ask you guys. Like, I wanted to share with you guys. My wife is like a type A personality, so she likes to get things done, and she doesn't like things that are pending. Like if something is pending, she'll just start working on it immediately. So today we're getting our windows changed in our house because it's our house is 100 years old and all the windows are old. So we're replacing them, and we have to move all the stuff away from the windows. Yesterday was our day to work on it, and I already knew from experience that my wife is anxious if it's not done. So I just woke up. The first thing I did was I moved all the stuff away from the windows, and so she could actually enjoy her day. Because normally my normal pace would be like, they're coming tomorrow. As long as I get it done today, we're good to go. But my wife is like, as soon as it can be done, that's when she does it. And I think I would like to do that. And then we enjoyed the rest of the Sunday together because didn't have to do that. So I don't know if you guys are like that. Do you want to get stuff done as early in the day as possible? Do you just get it done before it's due? Do you not get it done at all? I get it done and just not on the. I'm always like 1 or 2 minutes before it's due guy. I don't necessarily procrastinate, but I'm not an early guy. But I'm thinking after enjoying the extra space that I'm creating in my warehouse at home, I'm really enjoying that time in it. In art, I was asking Christina, they call it negative space. I want negative space. I want my photos to be unencumbered and peaceful. Like the photo station that I have right now is 8 feet by 8 feet, essentially. And I use it to take pictures of small things. And I like that. I got that idea from Tech and Sports. When you guys watch his warehouse tour, one day he'll do one. One day he'll show you guys before he retires. And it's going to blow your mind how much extra space he has. So I'm kind of disappointed in myself for one, buying too much stuff, two, starting too many projects. But it's not too late. My life is not over. I can now do less with the same amount of time. Okay, one last thought with you guys. So then we'll take a Q&A. I've been really thinking about the difference between an item that's really good and an item that's just so-so. So when you list a really good item, it sells for a lot of profit, it sells fast, and it gives your store an awesome reputation. Literally, if you guys ever sold something and someone says, hey, if you get another one, will you let me know? How many here have done that on eBay? I'm sure you guys have. You sold something for a great price or a great deal, or you found something awesome, and they asked you, do you have something else like this? They'll buy from you again. That's how good of a job you did. Think about how different that is versus you discounting an item, it still doesn't sell. Do a promotion, doesn't sell. Do a coupon, doesn't sell. Change the pictures, doesn't sell. Change the title, doesn't sell. Lower the price, free shipping, doesn't sell. Free returns, doesn't sell. Every time you do that, you need like 1,000 of those to equal one item that you did a really good job on, and people want to come back and do business with you. So that's how I want to do it right now. I want to really, really, really think before I do something and produce a really, really high quality item. My Poshmark closet currently has 80 items in it, right? And it's still running at about $800 to $1,000 a day. And it only has 80 items in it, but they're all awesome. It took me a long time to optimize that. It probably took me an hour to do. For me, an hour is a long time. An hour to do the first listing, and then I just copied that really good listing over 80 times. And it just made me think, wow, imagine I put an hour into the first one of everything. So I wanted to list some Nike trainers. I spent an hour on the first one, really understanding the item specifics, the title, the order, SEO, pricing, shipping, all of that. Then every single one after that is going to be really easy, and I know what I'm doing, and I won't pick up ones that don't sell because I've already done the homework. So it's like spending 20 times more effort on something yields so much more than 20 times the return. Like you're spending 20 hours on one item and it's making you thousands or tens of thousands of dollars. And I think that's a huge difference versus just one at a time. So anyway, that's all I got today. Hopefully we had some good questions from you guys.
Well, regarding that, Atomic Elf says, was it Mark Twain that said, I would have written a shorter letter if I had more time?
Yeah, that's how I feel. I would have loved to make a shorter video for you guys that makes the most sense. But for me, it takes a long time to articulate my thoughts. But I'd love to just give you I'm thinking about writing an eBay book that's just one page. It's just like just all the information condensed, and then the best information that I figured out just on one page, because maybe that can be my lifetime contribution to the reseller community. The best ideas I've had from doing this full time. Although very, very few of them are original. I would say like the concept of reseller nirvana, where you list and sell the same number of items a day. I like named some things that help people remember, like reset the zero at the end of the day. Also, this morning people were kind of getting in my face about this idea, which I don't feel like is something that we can necessarily argue about, but they were saying, I count everything in my hourly wage. when I clean the bathroom here, when I order supplies, I'm not listing photographing or sourcing, but I count that in my hourly time. And people were saying, well, when you work for yourself, why do you even count the hours? And I count my hours because I don't want to be working all day. I want to get my work done earlier so I can hang out with my friends, hang out with my family. I don't want to be at work all day. That's bad. My wife, she told me she didn't sign up for that. She doesn't want me to be at work all day. That's not a thing. I used to be in the car business and I made a ton of money, but I never got weekends off. I never got nights off. So, like, what's the point? Like, I can't spend any time with my family. I'm never home. I'm always tired. It's also very stressful negotiating for a living. So, like, I drank a lot, partied hard, work hard, play hard. But now, like, since I started reselling, it's not stressful. There's no customers. The worst that can happen is I don't like the item and I have free returns. So, if you're not happy, you can just send it back. Questions?
Yeah. Arman Ali says, Chris, what's your per unit prep cost?
Let's see. Per unit prep cost. I would say, let's see, 50 an hour. Maybe on the high end, 50 cents.
Um,
Yeah, on the low end, 10 cents.
Video Games Explained says, Hey Chris, I've been doing a mixture of reselling from garage selling and also selling wholesale from suppliers. So far, I've done 9,500 pounds from two products. Which is better long term, wholesale or thrifting?
B2B is better long term because businesses can, a recurring relationship with the business is worth a lot. So, like, my suppliers at the flea market, every single one of them, I spend $50,000 a year or more. So it's like if they have 20 customers, that's $1 million business because everybody's $50,000 or more. Business to business is more scalable. It lasts longer, but the margins are lower. So you just have to consider when you sell wholesale. When I sell things wholesale, I make $1. When I sell things retail, I make between $4 and $20. So it's a lot more work doing wholesale, but it's more stable if you have customers. Also, certain items sell better to certain types of customers. So if you're B2B, you might sell to people who are small businesses, medium businesses, or large businesses. Obviously, selling to the government or a large business would be the best, but those are hard to get. But those contracts are worth a fortune. Imagine you have the contract to do the roads every 10 years. That's like worth millions and millions of dollars. Yeah, they were redoing the roads in my area because Oakland is super ghetto, and the lady that was driving that giant machine. Do you guys know what that machine's called? The paving machine.
Oh,
It
no.
like scrapes off 6 inches of road and repaves 6 inches. It's insane.
Wow.
So the lady that was driving this giant machine. Okay, it's like 12 feet tall. She like would stand on the edge of it with a chainsaw and cut stuff out of the way that was on. And it was just like, I wonder if she makes $100 an hour or more. It's like the craziest job ever. You're on this giant machine that's repaving the road and cutting down stuff that's in the way, and they tow every single car that's in the way. It's like a really, really cool job, I think. Yeah.
Keenan is asking, Chris, I am below standards. How can I get back on track?
Okay, so there's no fast way to do it, but you can either sell items at a loss to get back and do a good job, or you can just wait for a long time because you're going to have less traffic when you're below standard. So, my recommendation is sell things at a loss that you're comfortable with until you can get your traffic back to normal. But being below standard is really hard to fix.
Tim is asking, how many people are in the auto parts call?
20, but we do have Hanley, who is one of the top sellers in the UK in that call, in car parts, and then there's lots of, let's see, because they say that when you're a car parts seller, you need a brain, like someone that knows what everything is, and just like, and then you also need a person that gets all the listings done. So we have both kinds of people in our car parts group. So that's something to consider if you want to join. But about 20 people join that call every week.
Left poster Manu says, what does prep cost include? Can you give examples?
Yeah. So cost includes receiving the pallets that I get, or the time that I spend getting the supplier to deliver goods to me, I count all of that in prep costs. When the item arrives, unboxing it, unpalletizing it, all the recycling is counted in that time. Cutting open the boxes is counted in that time. Taking the items out, taking out items that are damaged, stained, cleaning items, repairing items, removing security tags if they have those, letting the manufacturer or supplier know if there's a certain amount of defects that you want a refund for. Good suppliers will refund you on items that don't meet the standard, but they also don't like to be nickel and dimed. So if you order 2,000 pieces from a supplier, don't say four of them were damaged. They won't call you back. Just eat the four items. That's normal. There's going to be like 5% that are going to be screwed up. So you have to eliminate all those. If you have to drive to the thrift store to donate the items that suck or throw them away, that's all cost time. Cleaning, prepping, also sorting by size, shape, and condition takes a lot of time. Size, shape, condition. We do that here. I have the best way to do it is to have my streamers do it. So since they are the ones presenting the items, they should be unboxing the items. So I'm taking it one step, making it a little bit easier, which is like I'm sorting it by size, and then they can make their own lots from the size. That would work. But ideally, the person presenting the item is the person that sorts. So that's why you make so much more money if you find the item, you prep the item, you clean the item, you test it, you repair it, you photograph it, you list it, you make all the money. If you start outsourcing it to different people, each time you outsource it, it gets worse. So let me give you guys an example. You order from a supplier, it comes in. You have somebody else unbox it and put it away. You have somebody else photograph it. You have somebody else list it. You have somebody else put it away. You have somebody else ship it. You just turned a process that could be done by one person into seven different people, seven different opportunities for there to be a mistake that happens along the way, and ends up people spending 7 to $19 per item to get their items on the eBay, and they're selling them for $7 to $19. I don't even make any money after all that. So versus you do all the work yourself, all the people in the group that are in the $100,000 call, $200,000 call, $2 million call, most of them do most of the work, and their cost of goods and to get it on the eBay is under $5, which means that they're doing 99% of the work themselves to get that cost down to make it safe. So you guys know how I was talking about margin. Right now, my average sale price on Poshmark is $42. My average cost is like $6.90. So like $6.90 and $42 plus shipping is $50. Look how much room there is between $50 and 7, right? A whole bunch of bad stuff can happen and I'm still fine. I could be in financial trouble and 50% off my entire store and sell all of it in one day. Like you can have a lot of options when you have that much margin in your pieces. But if you're spending 5 and you're selling it for 20, you don't have that much room. Andy in the group just texted me yesterday saying, Chris, all my items that are $15 and under, I can discount them to 5 and they still don't sell faster. I find that to be true. I know that, sure, maybe an item at 15, if you lower the price, it'll sell immediately, but less so than the higher priced items, in my opinion.
The gentleman marketeer says, "Hi Chris, Simon from London. I sell men's clothing. Would you recommend niche down further? For example, hiking clothing. Is this a better model than a general knowledge?"
Oh, this is a good question. So I know have this. You're not the Simon that brought me biscuits, right? Because another Simon from the UK came and brought me biscuits, and I feel bad that I didn't take him out to lunch or anything. I was just so busy that day. But this is what I recommend. This morning, right? Dana in the group, she presented 20 items that she found from the thrift. She found, I'm sorry, she found 3 items at the thrift, and she found 20 items from Goodwill bins. And she broke down what she paid for them and what category they were in. And I think you should niche down if you can. If you can afford it and go to more stores, I would focus on something like hiking or tennis or baseball or rugby. If you can focus as narrow as you can go because you'll dominate that section. If you can't find enough stuff, that's when you start to diversify. But diversify in different categories and different products, not profit. Like some people will be like, okay, you know what? I can't find a $20 item, so I'm going to pick up two $10 items. I'm a little more worried about that than if you like instead of like you selling a snowboarding jacket, right? And you decide to sell a sweater. That's $20 profit. It's like the same photos, pretty much the same item specifics. That is, to me, less dangerous than selling two $10 clothing items because those ones are, the market is saturated, in my opinion.
Um, Zabinski says, Chris, how do you list jeans when the label and measurements are different? I list measured size, but some buyers are confused.
Yeah, I never list measured size because sometimes the brands fit different. So, as an example, Topshop, it fits small. So, a size 4 is really like a size 2. Good American, a size 2 is like a size 4. So you're talking two brands that fit the opposite. One fits small and is one size smaller. If you're a size 4, you buy a size 6. Lululemon's actually like that. I'm like a size 32 normally, but in Lululemon I wear a size 34. So what I want as the buyer and what most buyers want and what eBay wants is for you to put the whatever's on the tag as the listing and then put in the description what the measurements are so that they can confirm. Because for me, as an example, 32-inch waist on Lululemon is usually 17 inches across. That's normally 34. Plus, it has a little stretch, right? So it's interesting because different brands have different things, but I need to know the measurements. So you put in what it says on the tag, and that protects you against item not as described. And then you put in the measurements. If it is really wonky, right? Like it's off by 2, 3, 4 inches, I maybe would make a note so that you reduce your returns. You might put please read in the title or please read right at the top. These jeans measure significantly smaller than the size on the tag. Just make sure you know that before you buy the item because to ensure a proper fit. That's what I say. Don't put I don't like returns, so please read it. That's rude, right? But if you put please check your pants to see if it's similar to ensure a proper fit, then you're being nice. But there's a lot of people who put my customers usually don't read this and I'm sick of it. I wouldn't put that in your listing. It makes you sound bad.
The gentleman marketeer was Simon who gave you the business.
Nice.
Let's see. Milo says, What's up, Chris? I sell on Depop, but thinking about eBay. I average about 45 sales a week on Depop and have a pretty good grip on what sells. But it's not the same on eBay. Do you think it's worth switching?
Um, it depends. If you've already found success on Depop, I might just double down. And if you already know what sells there, you'd have to you can maybe have the upper edge. So, as an example, if I decide to do Depop, which a lot of people have recommended I do it next, because now I have my Poshmark business makes $200 a day. Maybe I add on Depop because people are wondering the process of me starting a new platform. This is gonna sound crazy, but does it sound crazy to you guys? I would not list the same items that do well on Poshmark for me on Depop because it doesn't make sense. They already do well on Poshmark, and they probably won't do well on Depop because it's a different demographic. I think that it's like yesterday I was watching this person selling sex chocolate on TikTok. Have you guys seen this? It's essentially like you share the chocolate with your partner, right? And this person, they they took 11 months to figure out chocolate that they thought would go viral, right? Based on it being fun, it's cool to talk about on TikTok and social media. It's called I forgot what it's called, but you guys probably know what it's called. But the chocolate, he took 11 months to figure out where it was going to sell and make the ads that fit before he started. People here are like normal people complain about doing like an hour of research on something. This person spent 11 months figuring out how to make something that would go viral. And then they sold $11 million worth of chocolate in 1 year just from TikTok ads. And they didn't even make the ads. They put on this is called UGC, user generated content. They put all of the criteria for how to get paid as an affiliate as a chocolate person, and then people would sign up, and then all the ads that went viral, they would share that with everybody else so they could make similar kinds of ads. And this person, they don't even fulfill the chocolate. It was amazing. They really just honed in on one thing, one platform, TikTok, and made it work. One product, one platform, $11 million. So how I would approach it is, if you're doing well on Depop, why not just make six figures on Depop? Why do you have to change to eBay? If you're already doing well, you already figured out Depop. When I try and figure out Depop in the future, if I decide to do that, I'm gonna figure out how that platform works, figure out what people buy on there, and then sell that. I'm not gonna sell junk that I find randomly on Depop. That for sure would not work.
Deanna says, do you need to open a bank account to start, and how much should I start with?
I would start with zero, just sell stuff around the house, and you do have to have a bank account. That's how they pay you. So get a bank account separate from your own ideally. It doesn't have to be a business bank account. You can just open another checking account. Get one that doesn't have any fees and then get started. Sell some stuff around the house. Use that to grow your business.
Josh is asking, where is the best place as a beginner to start in bulk buying?
That's like an oxymoron, my friend. You shouldn't be bulk buying if you're a beginner because you don't know what to buy. You're going to end up not being able to sell the stuff that doesn't match your criteria, and you don't even have criteria to begin with. Unfortunately, until you're getting 30 sales a day, I recommend buying one at a time. It's just easier because you're just gonna like with 100 items in my store. When I was cherry picking one at a time, I'm selling between 7 and 10 a day with 100 in my store. If you are buying bulk, you have no idea. You'd be lucky to sell one out of every 1,000 in your store because you don't know what you're buying. You just randomly get stuff and then you hope that it's going to sell well. No one is going to send you only the stuff that sells well.
They're clarifying though. Josh is asking, they are a beginner in bulk buying, but they're not a beginner as a
Oh,
seller.
beginner bulk buying. Okay, so I want to make I have Jazz helping out with YouTube content, and I want to make a series called From Pallet to Profit, right? So the beginning part of bulk buying is essentially defining parameters for what you want to buy. So, like, what is it that you're looking for exactly? So now the people who are shopping from me or the people I buy bulk from know what I'm looking for. So they don't present items that don't match. So I'm basically only reviewing things that might match what I sell here. So the first thing is defining what's clear and then figuring out your how many you can sell in a week. That's next. So can you sell 1,000 a week, 2,000 a week, 5,000 a week? Do you have enough space for that? Do you have enough money for that? Then you start ordering, and I recommend being under 50% of your space. When you start bulk buying, you need way more space than you think. And don't overbuy like me.
Tag says, hi, I'm a sneaker reseller and I get really inspired by watching your channel. I know you dabble in Jordans, etc.,
Yep.
but would you ever go deep into sneakers, as in high end?
I have before. It got me in some trouble. I would say doing high-end sneakers is a little bit difficult because of supply chain. It's hard to find them. If you do end up getting a lot of them, it's suspicious. So I don't know if it's something that I really would delve in again. If I were to sell sneakers again, I would do like Jordan Geller. You guys know him, Shoeseum. He was one of the largest sellers on eBay and Nike shoes from the outlet. He went to all 51 outlets in the United States, built relationships, ended up selling millions and millions of dollars worth of sneakers on eBay, and it was all the mids, $40 to $90. Like not a lot of issues on those. The high end ones is a lot of risk. I don't know if I would even sell them on eBay. I might go to Grailed, StockX, Flight Club, just different websites that could handle the authenticity part. I don't know if I would sell on eBay because it's just difficult to send items in, get them authenticated. Takes a long time for the customer to get it, and they'll flag your account if you start making a lot of money.
Do you want to do a recap on the topics that you were talking about?
Sure. Yep. Which topics?
Um,
Oh, my
title of
topics?
this?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The title of this? Okay. So guys, essentially I am a different man now, okay? I feel like I have risen from the ashes of a person that was like trying to cram, like I don't know, I just got obsessed with making as much money as I could out of the smallest space possible. And it doesn't need to be that way. You can have more space. Space is the cheapest part of your business. For me, even though I live in California and space is between $2 and $3 per square foot, it's still the cheapest part of my business. I spend more on like the rent is like the lowest expensive. I spend more on staff. I spend more on everything. The rent and electricity and is so cheap. I would get more space than you need. So, and then don't use it. That's the key part. Get more space than you need and then don't use it. I don't know how to. It's hard because I don't want to spill the beans, but me getting a inside depth into what Tech and Sports does, and just seeing how comfortable. If you guys go to his Instagram, okay, go to Tech and Sports' Instagram, and go scroll down, look at some of the photos of his place, right, and then remind yourself it's not fake, and it really is that clean. Then you'll redo everything in your brain. You'll be like, wow, you can live an eBay life that's easy, clean, stress free, relaxed. You know how much money you're gonna make. And oh, I did have somebody help me with Poshmark shipping, and it's glorious. So I love it. I
Nice.
love because today's Monday, and normally Poshmark shipping is horrible, but it wasn't today because I didn't do it.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh
Awesome.
yeah. So another thing is, oh, I now know that if you spend 20 times the effort on something, you don't get 20 times the return. You get like hundreds or thousands of percent return back. Like I was just saying, as an example, on YouTube, I just watched this guy's channel. I don't remember what the name of the channel was, but he did a recap of how much money he made on eBay. It was like $80,000 last year. Went over everything that he did. It was like very useful, very informative, really well done. And it took a lot more effort than just making a haul video. And that video got 75,000 views, so the video killed it. Right on point, great topic, great thumbnail. I gotta start this call. Next question.
Not any more questions at the moment.
That's it?
Yeah, if you guys
That's
have
it?
more
We can.
questions about your businesses. Actually,
Thank you, Mike.
how long have we been going? Oh, only 32 minutes.
Hopefully, you guys have some more questions while I'm here. Right now, I am starting.
Have you ever done Carl, have you ever done a talk on furniture?
I'm starting the call for the toy sell. I'm sorry, the ephemera and antique sellers.
I haven't. I don't know enough about it, Lee, to really do
Cardboard with Keegan.
Yes, please. Cardboard first. Thank you.
I was thinking you were talking about how nice tech space is and how like organized.
Yeah.
But do you have advice for people who are in chaos mode at the moment and like need to get there? Like how do they get there?
Okay,
if
so
it's
this
overwhelming?
is how you fix chaos mode. You just set it all on fire, and then afterwards you just rise from the ashes. That's how I feel. So I didn't set it on fire. I essentially just organized it and then started selling it one pile at a time. So essentially, I organized my shop into different quadrants. This is all stuff that's awesome and sells for the amount that I want it to and the time that I want it to. This stuff sells for the amount that I'm sorry, sells fast, but not for what I'm looking for, right? So I have now some different categories. Number one is great stuff, sells fast, great profit. Good stuff, sells fast, not the profit you're looking for. Average stuff sells for a lot of money, but sells kind of slowly. Bad stuff sells for low profit, takes a long time. Horrible stuff that doesn't sell at all. So I separated my room into those different sections. The stuff that was horrible, I put out in the hallway and I gave it away for free. The stuff that was bad, I wholesaled off to other resellers. The average stuff, I'm also wholesaling off to other resellers because that stuff is a little easier to sell because at least it's high profit. And then the good and great stuff, I just organized by size. So that's how I redid my pile of shame. That's how you fix it.
Philosophy says, what were you the most stubborn at, and now you have changed?
Taking photos with a camera. That took me years to change. Now I love it. I love taking pictures with my camera. It's the best thing ever.
Yeah, instead of your phone.
Instead of my phone. And I'm actually enjoying it a lot more. Like I enjoy the photo process because I like staging photos. I think it's fun. So it's a grind taking photos, but I do think that the actual setting it up and making the photo look like the way that you want it to, that's actually fun.
Peter's asking, do two eBay shops sell more than one bigger shop?
There's an argument for that eBay only gives your store a certain amount of traffic, so you should have two stores, but I don't buy that for most people selling under 1,000 items a day. Like maybe if you sell thousands of items a day, you need two stores, but for the most part, one store is better. You're focused on one store. You don't have to log in the two browsers. All that takes extra time. You have to have two email addresses with customer service.
Kay Bay is saying, how do you price your items as a beginner?
Oh, I know what video I have to make. I want to make today. So you price your items at the market or a little bit better when you're a beginner, and you have to do a better job at titles, photos, item descriptions, and everything else. Otherwise, they're gonna buy from somebody with more experience than you. eBay's also gonna recommend other people's stuff above yours if you don't know what you're doing. So in the beginning, you can't overprice it. Ask for a best offer. In the beginning, you price it your best that you can right out the gate, and accept best offer. So let's say you buy a pair of shoes at a garage sale, and it's this pair of Echoes, right? You get it at a garage sale for $2. The market says that it's selling between $20 and $30. If I was just a beginner, I'd probably go 15 plus shipping, no offer. If I was a beginner, a lot of beginners go, it sells for 20 to 30. I'm going to price it at 31 with best offer. You don't do that in the beginning. In the beginning, you can't do that. You don't have any credibility. Nobody believes you. There's no traction in the algorithm. You have to hit people. They see the price, they buy it. 15 and they're selling for 20 to 30. You'll sell it and you'll make your $9.50 after fees, and you can go buy 4 more items and start over again.
The Thrifty Realtor says, what's the best way to attack my death pile?
So you want to sort it into piles, like I said earlier. So like either you can okay, let's say, depends on how big your death pile is, but let's say your death pile is 5,000 items. Separate it into piles of 1,000, then ignore the other ones, and you just have one manageable pile of stuff, and then slowly just go there with the plastic bin, fill it up, go list it, go back, fill up your bin again, and just keep doing that until it's gone. And ideally, you have 2 plastic bins when you go there, and you fill one with stuff that you're going to redonate, and then stuff that you're going to list. And you just do it one chunk at a time.
Stephanie says, any advice for those with limited time? I have 5 children and homeschool them, so my time is very limited.
Oh my goodness, that's a lot. I have 2 babies. It's very hard. I'm just going to show you. I would recommend figuring out how much time you have to begin with, and then you got to give yourself grace. It's not easy to operate with that much overhead because, like, whoever said having 2 kids is easier than one doesn't know what they're talking about. It's a lot of extra work when you're dealing with extra kids. So you need to break down how much time it takes to take care of your kids, and that's going to be like food, school, getting them ready. Also, like, it's really hard to take care of kids and then switch to doing business. It takes a second to acclimate. You got to like wait till the kids go to sleep and then start. Like, it's hard to adjust immediately. So my son Henry started sleeping at 7 instead of 10:30 about a week ago. I still haven't gone to bed much earlier than 10 p.m. I'm not used to it. You have to acclimate to changing something. So when you start, you have 5 kids, 5 homeschooling lessons, 5 of all that stuff. When you switch over to being an entrepreneur, you'll lose like another 20 minutes or half an hour to even get into the mode. And I would just stick to the goal of 1 to 5 listings as many times as I can throughout a week. You probably don't realistically have the bandwidth to list every day because you can't. It's too much stuff to do. Like, unless you have childcare or unless they're old enough to help with each other, it's just hard. But Natalie, you guys watch me. This is her. She's getting big. Um, but it is now a little bit easier. She's 2.5, and it's been easier than when she was younger. Like, I know they say terrible threes are about to come upon me, but it's a lot easier for me. Like, because I can talk to her now. Before, there's no like back and forth. It's hard. Like, if you're talking to somebody and they have a glassy look in their face and they don't know what you're talking about, it's different than now. She doesn't know how to respond back, but she knows I said something. She's trying to figure it out. But earlier, it's hard to communicate when you're explaining a concept. Like, do you guys want to talk about what is that term? Let's see. Quantitative. Whatever that term is when they start destroying money, I have that look in my eye because it's too complicated for me. It's too hard. So, like, if your kids are older, it might be slightly easier, is my point.
Kaylin is asking, are the Friday silent workroom calls still a thing, like open to the public, or is it only for people who are in the Patreon group?
It's open to the public the rest of the year. So we've been doing it every Friday. If you guys want to join the Friday Shut Up and List room, email me. I'll respond back with a link to join the Zoom call. It's free. It'll be free forever. 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Join, and we will work on getting your business set up together. 3 hours every Friday. And if it ends up working really well, we might as well do it every day. I work every day. And I think Tech and Sports is right. Humans are designed to work. Even if I was independently wealthy, I would probably still work because I like working. Quantitative easing is the term. A bunch of people put it in the chat. I kind of get it. I get that they destroy money so inflation slows down, but I don't really get it because most money is digital. So do they just delete some zeros? I don't know how they actually do that because it's not real money. How do they ease the money when it's digital? I know they don't make pennies, right? Did you guys read that? They stopped making pennies this year. So pennies are going extinct. That's it.
WD1000 says, when you say stick to one category, I sell auto parts. Should I start a different eBay account for different products?
No, you should just try to narrow down to something that's similar. So, okay, Hanley is in our group. She's one of the top sellers in auto parts in the UK. And she showed her process on a $99 call of what she lists in the car parts category. And I was shocked because all of the car parts that she sells are the same size. I thought that was because think about car parts. They can range from engine to bumper to sunroof to shifter. And somehow she sells all car parts, but only that fit in a specific size. So that's narrowing down in a way, and it helps with the processing a lot. You wouldn't start a different account for every single car. That's too complicated. I'm just talking about narrowing down something. And in fact, I got the craziest comment ever on the weekend. So we just did that podcast with Philly Flipper, back from Burnout and Bold Finds. Shout out to their channel. Somebody helped me put it in the chat. And somebody responded, the key to being an everything seller is limiting the categories you buy. And I'm like, bro, that's the opposite of being an everything seller. That's narrowing down. That's what I've been saying this whole time. Did that resonate with people out there? The key to being an everything seller is not buying everything. Yeah, we know that. You want to narrow it down so it's easier. It's not easier to sell every single thing is different. Nobody is actually an everything seller. Philly Flipper said, I'm an everything seller, and I said, "Do you look at every single item at a garage sale?" And he said, "No, I go to specific areas of the garage sale." Of course you do. No, nobody looks through every single item at the thrift store. That makes zero sense.
Terry is asking, oh, because we were talking earlier about when the measurement is different from the tag and what you put
Yeah.
in the title. Um, they're saying it seems if you list the measurements as what's on the tag, but the tag is not actual, how would the customer find the listing?
Because people always start with their size. So they start with their size and then they go through it. So this is interesting because I am a 32-34, right? But if I search 32-34 and somebody puts 32-34, but the jeans are actually 30 by 32, I won't buy it when I see it. So should you put 30 by 32 in the title? You can put 30 by 32 in the title. Some people put an asterisk so that you pull both buyers, right? Just remember, it's going to be difficult. I find that the only way to really sell jeans is the people that have that jeans fit into it. King, what's up? She might be done. We might be done soon then.
Okay. Kevin says, if you have a niche eBay store
Yep.
and want to sell outside of your niche, is it
Yep.
better to start a new store or integrate with the current store? Sorry, I feel like there's similar
It's okay.
questions, but
It's better to integrate into your own into one store. You want one hot mess, not two hot messes or four hot messes. Just one mess to fix every day.
John is asking light gray or dark gray background.
What do you think? Light gray.
Probably light gray.
I would aim for light gray as a gray card because the gray cards that I have seen are light gray. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll take two more questions.
John Williams is asking, hi Chris, I am traveling to California in 2 weeks and hiring a car, and they are charging 180 pounds for Saturday. Is this, oh wait, for sat nav. Is this normal or just a ploy to get more money off of me?
I wouldn't pay for navigation, my friend. Just use your phone. Hopefully you don't have roaming charges. I like T-Mobile because internationally they don't charge for roaming. So that was like a super travel hack to use T-Mobile because when you travel, they don't hit you with the crazy roaming cost. So that's a huge ripoff. Do not do that. It may sound good to be able to type it in, but just you can get a car with Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, and both of those will be able to use your phone's navigation system when you plug it in. Do not pay $180 for that. That's a total ripoff. That's more than the cost of the car, ideally, unless you're renting a really nice car. And come visit. I'm gonna really make it. I'm gonna go out of the way to be hospitable. If people come and visit me in my shop, I want to really take care of you. Try to give you as much information as I can in the shortest amount of time that I can. Because this is the opposite experience is when every day I get an email that says, "Can I ask you a question?" And I delete those emails. Why can't you just ask the question? I will answer your question if you just ask me a question. But can I ask you a question? I'm worried that if I answer yes, I'll get another answer that's not the question. Just answer the question. So when you guys come here, I will try to feed you the best possible food I can, show you as much information that you care about as possible, and send you on your way. I don't want to, I'm not going to beat around the bush, unless that's what you want. But like Eduardo just visited with his family from Panama. Also, did you guys learn Spanish in high school? Anybody?
I didn't.
No?
I did French.
How's your Spanish? Yeah, see? So Jazz says her Spanish is like a little weird. Or not the best. For me too, right? So Eduardo visited me and he's Panamanian. His Spanish sounded like my high school Spanish. I've never heard it like that though. Like I've never heard the sentences spoken like they were in the text. But that's why my Spanish is like I don't hear that kind of Spanish. The Spanish that I learned in high school, I never heard in real life. So I don't know if you guys know what I'm saying, but his Spanish sounds different. Even though I haven't taken high school Spanish in forever ago, I actually understood some of it. It sounded so. Tech was saying that they speak proper Spanish, but it just sounded different. So Castilian Spanish is usually taught. Whatever that Spanish was the same Spanish that was in my high school. The Spanish I hear at the flea market does not sound like that. Yeah, I know I have to beef up my Spanish for the flea market, but it doesn't sound like that. It sounds different. There's a difference between Spanish and Mexican. I know that. And I know the Spanish that I hear from people from Spain sounds different. Hey, Mel, what's up? Mel's going to be visiting me soon. And I'm working on planning the best possible trip I can for her because that's my new shtick. And so that's what we're going to be talking about right now. So we're going to end the live right now and plan what we're going to do with Mel. So I'm super excited. Everybody follow Back from Burnout in the chat. We're going to have an adventure when she comes and visits me in about a week or so. So appreciate everybody.
Thanks.
We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.